5, rather. It being 5 o'clock and a quorum present, the meeting is called to order. Have you all please rise for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Is there a way the town does roll call, or can I just say we're all here except for Daryl?
That's usually what I do, as long as we just note it.
We're all here except for Daryl, and we do have a quorum. Number 1 on the agenda is nominations, is election. First meeting of the year.
Yeah, first meeting of the year.
So we need nominations for president, vice president, and secretary.
It seems like we just
Floor
did
is open.
that.
Pardon?
It seems like we just did that.
It was last year.
We had 2 meetings last year. Maybe you remember one of them.
Yeah.
Was it 2 last year?
I think it was just the one.
1.
Just one.
That's that too.
And we're tying it already this year.
That was in 24, actually.
Oh, actually, no, you are right.
Oh, 20, yeah, we were
Yeah.
20.
Okay. Let's get serious. Nomination for president. Don't be afraid.
I'll make a nomination, we leave it status quo.
I'll second that.
I'm fine with that.
Okay, let me tell you what could be a problem with that.
Okay,
And I don't mind this. You gotta realize that you're voting for, I'm 87 years old. And
We have confidence in that.
at some time, somebody else has gotta sit in the
Step
chair. Yeah. And. Okay. 1 more year? No more meetings this year?
Good promise.
it's been pretty good so far.
I think we're on a pretty good roll, aren't we? And as long as the secretary part keeps working out the way it
It's
has,
not been bad.
I can sign.
I can
my
handle
name.
these minutes.
Okay.
All right. Okay, all right, are there any other nominations? Nominations closed, do we really have to vote?
If you guys wouldn't mind.
All in favor of leaving it like it is, say aye.
Hi.
Okay.
All in favor of not leaving it like it is, say aye. This year you gotta think about that.
We appreciate you, Jim.
Yeah, sure.
Here, have a piece of candy.
I'm waiting for better candy if you don't mind.
Oh, okay.
Oh, here.
Vice president. Thank you, this is better candy. Nominations for vice president?
I think we just
I
kept
thought
them
we
all the
were
same.
keeping
Oh,
all of
we're keeping
our,
all the same?
all
So
of
that'd be-
our,
Daryl's vice president, I have Teresa as secretary.
Never mind. See, I told you. You know, you don't remember things.
I'll throw a wrench in. What's the odds of making it like every 4 years instead of every year? Is it possible?
As far as the board commission,
I think we better.
you can.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think, I don't think you can do it longer than like a person's
I think it
term.
depends on your bylaws.
Yeah.
I think.
Jim's-
Well, I just wanted to ask, I'm not doing it I'm just asking,
Mhm.
because the other committee, I think they're every 4 years, aren't they?
I know you can't go longer than a person's like appointed term. So, and these are all 4-year appointments. So I don't remember exactly where each of you are in that appointment, but they're staggered too. So, I mean,
You've all received a copy of the minutes of the January 23rd, 2025 meeting, which was our last meeting. They're not long, just take a minute and take a look at them.
for sure.
That was the last meeting we had?
And I think
Nice.
I thought we had one about the fence, but that was in 24?
Yeah,
For the side street?
that was for the design commission.
Oh, okay, never
They're
mind.
dissolved now. so.
Yeah, okay.
So the only thing in these minutes is we had an election and decided when to have the meetings. Any additions or corrections? Not, I entertain a motion to approve the minutes of the January 23rd, 2025 meeting. Good candidate, it really messes up your tongue.
I'll make a motion.
I'll second it.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, and the minutes of the January 23rd, 2025 meeting are approved. There's no old business, we have some new business tonight, so welcome.
We're glad to be here.
It's a pleasure to have you here.
I'm Leslie Sutherland. I'm the director of the Aurora Public Library District, which includes Dillsboro and Aurora, and Andrew is with KRM.
So welcome.
I can quickly go through my staff report.
If you would.
Yep.
We'll start with staff report and then we're
That's
gonna
fine.
do you.
So as Leslie mentioned, they've requested a variance to remove the landscaping buffer yard requirements from the west side of the property. And they're stating financial hardship and maintenance concerns. And then just for the record, those sections in our town zoning code are found in Article 22, Section 2205, Section 2210, and Section 2260. I do have for the record, the address is 10151 Library Lane, and also provided the 3 separate parcel numbers. And noted that this property is within our R3 multifamily residential zoning district. And some background, they have obtained a permit back in March of 2025 to construct a 3,100 square foot addition onto the library to include a reading room, office, workroom, storage, and a garage. And at that, to obtain that permit, they've actually got a variance previously for some of the parking regulations, and they came before you all back in October of 24. And then in February, they've requested this particular variance. They've also added, in addition to the financial hardship, they noted that there is currently no one in the adjacent building that would have direct visual access to the west side of the library. And if that building does become occupied, they have intentionally designed the library so that no one would be able to see that building from the public. The 2 buildings facing or closest to the adjacent building are a bookmobile garage and a workroom with no windows. And they've been working through landscaping design with the landscaper. And more plantings will be planted or planned up front by the library's entrance. And then I do provide kind of a brief overview of each of those sections that I previously mentioned. So 2205 just requires that all developments subject to site plan review, which that's essentially anything other than a single family residence, a duplex, or like a garage set or a shed, something like that. So kind of commercial type developments are required to go to this site plan review. And our code says once you're, in certain situations are required to provide landscaping. Section 2210 establishes some of the requirements for the landscaping, such as like how quickly they have to be planted after they've received their permit, stuff like that. 2260 and 2265 establishes kind of the standards for the actual buffer yards, the widths, how many plants they're supposed to include, the variety of plants, the maturity height for the species, and it's a whole slew of stuff in our town zoning code. And in accordance with state law, we've notified the adjoining property owners of this request. I had one property owner reach out regarding that notice, and he was just looking for clarification of what was going on and didn't have any concerns. We've also provided a legal advertisement to the paper as required by state law. And again, I didn't receive any comments from that as well. And then I do have kind of just my recommendation, being that the library is constructed before these standards were established. These standards only apply to the addition, and the bulk of the required plantings, since the additions in the rear of the property, those requirements are really only subject to the rear as well. And just the way the land lays, it is near the bottom, kind of of a swale, and likely would only maybe moderately benefit the adjoining property to the west. Let's see. And, I don't personally anticipate a negative effect on health, safety, and general welfare of the community, just based off where that kind of landscape requirements are.
Is this the sign here showing the requirement for landscaping?
Yeah, yeah, so it's basically that entire east side of the property from that addition. And the west side, or I'm sorry, I'm backwards, the entire west side.
Here's west right here.
Correct. And the east side and the north side are fine because there's already mature
Right.
woods there. So that's why that requirement's only imposed on at that particular location.
I noticed. One is it said Bradford pear.
That
Yeah,
was
right
removed. There was a Bradford pear there that they were,
It was already there.
yes.
That was already there. And it will be,
And you
it's
remove
removed.
that.
It's
I
removed.
understand that's one of the most horrible
It
landscaping
is.
trees in the world.
So that was, we didn't plant that, I don't even know if that was a library plant or if that was a volunteer. But it, with the land, with the construction, it was taken down.
And I do have some kind of notes on, just, we are supposed to make particular findings of facts when making decisions and try to justify some of these things. One, that it's not injurious to public health, safety, morals, general welfare, the use and value of adjacent properties will not be affected in a substantial manner. The strict application of this term or this ordinance will result in a practical difficulties in the use of the property, and that you may impose reasonable conditions of approval. So you don't have, you can grant it fully as requested, or you can kind of meet somewhere in the middle as well. I did just want to make a mention that, as you guys can see in that application, they kind of highlighted that area in red. I do know there was some other planned landscapings, and I'll let you guys kind of talk about them in a little bit, but I didn't, I was just curious kind of what the plans, if any, were on those particular landscaping items. And then, yeah, Jim, as you mentioned, kind of that area in red was their landscaping plan that was submitted. It did meet our town's requirements at that time. And that's what they're asking to get a variance from now. You all have a copy of the application you may look at. Got a zoning map, got the kind of county record with the parcel information provided, and I do have some inspection photos kind of towards the end that are looking at that area. So this first one is kind of standing west of the property, looking north down kind of that property line. That's kind of where back here is where the area they're talking about. I mean, you can see it as the bottom of the swale. I don't think it's going to have much visual impact if they planted that there personally. Then again, this is standing down the hill looking back towards the south. So you can see it's a pretty substantial drop. And that's from that landscaping area looking west at the noted vacant adjacent property. And then that's kind of just looking up at the addition. And then this is, I think, one of the areas that
There'll be landscaping in there. And then also though, there's another,
That just to
to the right of that window, there's another flower bed. And
Now you'll have a drive going back to that barn, right?
we have a drive, yes, a concrete drive that will allow the bookmobile to, we have two doors so that the future bookmobile will be able to drive around the drive and come in and then come straight out. So my drivers won't have to back out. And we have landscape plans. We've been working with Brumbley Gardens, who has done a lot of our landscaping at our 3 locations and does the maintenance, with the new entryway on the south side of the library. So, we have plans to, we've got a landscaping plan, for that entire front. We have a brick path that has been personalized, so we're gonna expand that brick path and allow people to purchase additional bricks that will be able to go into that entryway, that brick pathway. And then we'll have a sidewalk that will lead from the entrance down to where we put a new parking lot in. So there'll be more of a entry look, I feel like, to the library space. So that's where we would like to put the majority of the landscaping materials is more on the front and on the side. Another concern that we did have was depending on what you plant there, the visibility of that building from 50. So we'd like to do some signage eventually. We're going to be working on marketing to get a new logo But we'd like to have something that would be able to be visible from 50, and putting trees in that area may also obstruct that image from 50, so.
So the only other thing I'd caution is maybe try to lean away from using financial hardship. I mean, that's usually not something we should consider, and that's hard, that kind of sets a bad precedent. But I do think they have a reasonable request. And, you know, personally, I think our standards are kind of maybe a little strict. We might need to look at those with the planning commission at some point and think about what we're asking of people.
Is there any more you want to say about that?
Those are questions. Andrew, do you have any?
No, okay, well, let's just bring it back to the board then and discuss it among ourselves. Would anyone like to start off with their opinion of this request?
It all sounds good to me, but you're talking about a sign, you want to put it out by US 50 on your property back in there,
On the library.
on the
A
library.
sign on the library.
On back.
No, on
On
the
the
side
library
of the
side.
library.
Oh,
On the building is where I'm interested in exploring that option. Whether it's, something that lights up, something that would be able to be seen, you know what I'm saying? Some 50 for people to identify that the library is there, so.
I mean, according to your other libraries that I've seen, the landscaping looks good. I kind of think we ought to go with, you know, with it. It really sounds good.
I'm all in favor of what they've got planned.
Yeah, that sounds fine to me, that the maintenance would definitely be a plus.
I was over there about an hour ago. I think the flooring guy was still there.
Yes,
And it's really looking good. And I don't see the road landscaping down there would do anything for it at all.
yeah, I mean, and I think it does follow the codes with it, but.
It's just kind of like a big open grassy area with a line of landscaping down it,
Yeah,
which I think right is just in the way.
Yeah.
So it sounds to me like we're all thinking about the same. And if that's so, I'd entertain a really detailed motion to either approve or disapprove this. And when I say really detailed, if you look at last page of the staff report, those are the things that need to be in the motion.
Or just at least that we can provide a written response to each of those. Well, because I do go after meetings, I do write up a physical written findings of facts is what they're called, and I answer each of those based off what you guys mentioned.
As a hint, I would say that I can't see how this would be at all injurious to public health, safety, morals. The fact that it doesn't provide places for people to hide, so maybe improve their morals.
yes, I would agree with that. We do have our security cameras. I was just telling Andrew that we had a situation just last week too, where a patron came in and she said that someone was in the woods watching her walk in. And she was very nervous, and at that time we didn't have our cameras in, but we will have cameras in the back of the library we have them installed now. But just for security, I feel like the trees also would create a different problem because our cameras will not be able to see approaching people if they would come for vandalism or whatever, so.
And I don't think it'll have any effect on the general welfare of the community. Use and value of the adjacent property, well, it's just wide open lawn on the other side. That's where this is going to be, so I don't see how it's going to damage anything there. And no, as a matter of fact, instead of creating practical difficulty to use this property, just the reverse would happen. So we cause more work. And I can't think of any conditions to apply. If someone would like to make that motion, they may, and if they'd like to make one a little different, that's okay also.
I'll be happy to second somebody's motion, but
So
I
don't just
know-
say you would make a motion to that effect.
But I'll second somebody's motion. I just don't know
Well,
how
it has to be a motion
to-
first.
I know, just don't know how to word all that myself.
Well, if it's already been worded, just say that you would make a motion to that effect.
I make a motion to that effect.
You really want to do
say?
that? You say yes,
Yes,
all right. No, I don't want to twist your arm or anything.
no, I agree with everything you said.
Okay. Was what I said sufficient, you think?
I think so. I mean, I guess the only thing to keep in mind is there any instance where someone might request the same thing that, you know, we wouldn't approve it, whereas we would in this instance? And I think the one thing that stands out for me is it is in the bottom of the swale. It's not gonna be visible.
Exactly.
I
That
mean, I
used to be
think that's
the
the
bottom
biggest
of the bottom of the pond.
Yeah, I'm fine with everything you all stated. I think I can.
So we do need a second for this motion.
Second,
Would there be any further discussion? No, I'll call for the vote. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? And the motion passes unanimously, and your variance is approved.
Thank you very much.
It was only just.
Appreciate your help with it. Thanks.
thank you.
Thanks for taking your time with us.
No problem.
Yeah,
Thank
thank
you
you.
very much, Derek.
I would ask if there would be a public comment, but there's no public here. You have any comments?
I have no comments. Unless, I guess the only thing I didn't have on the agenda is maybe are we fine just keeping the regular meeting schedule as is? Like I said, maybe every 6 months or so, if we get business, I'll just keep it. I just like to tell people that, hey, their next meeting is, you know, this time and this date, so.
So many people have gone to Thursday. That Thursday's already tied up. I'm glad we I'm glad we moved to Wednesday.
It works out fine for me.
Okay. Is there any other business to be brought before the development?
Board of Zoning.
Board of Zoning Appeals?
Which one are you at?
This Board of Zoning Appeals this evening? If not, this meeting is adjourned. And thank you all for being here.
Do you have that off yet? I have a question that has nothing to do with this.
Oh, okay.
Hold it off camera?